All right. So we see this a lot. Like people, I used to date this girl. All right. This is a perfect example. And she had an aunt who was a marriage family therapist, but her home life was a wreck. They were always fighting. They were like divorces, all this stuff. But like she taught people how to be a marriage, how to have a better family, because I feel like she was still trying to incorporate that in her life. A lot of people online, their first business is a business coach. It's like, what the fuck? Like, who's not seen this? Like, what, you haven't started a successful business, but you've read a bunch of books, so now you're going to be a business coach, but you haven't incorporated that. You haven't walked the talk yet. Yeah. You know, same thing with like dating advice. I'm sure like a lot of guys who like talk a big game with dating advice, and this is what you say to the girl. They have all the theory, but like you look at their results in their relationship, or maybe they don't have any, and they're weird. Yeah. It's like, what is that about people that are drawn to the thing? We're drawn to teach the things that we still need to incorporate and live.
I think more it's just top of mind, tip of tongue is what if I had to guess. But if I'm hearing you correctly, it's like we're kind of teaching the things that we're working on currently, right? I think for dating, what really makes kind of just, I assume what makes a lot of my advice stand out is that I try to make sure that everything I teach does come from experience. I don't want to teach something that I haven't had personal experience with. So, you know, like I even started talking about it recently. Like I don't teach a lot of Tinder and Bumble because that was never my thing. My thing was I approached a lot of fucking chicks, right? And I'll own that shit. There's a lot of people out there who won't own that, and they'll try to teach from other people's experiences or from books they read, or they try to talk the talk without having walked the walk. And for me, I truly believe game recognized game, like the old Jay-Z quote. Mm-hmm. Like I can instantly spot when a guy's full of shit if he's talking about dating advice, because I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so for me, I just try to own that. So I know a lot about some things, and some things I don't know a lot about, and some things I'll be full transparency. Like I struggle with this too. I say this all the time on my dating advice channel. I'm like, yeah, I struggle with this too. I have struggled with this in the past, you know, and I own it. And so for me, I try to make it a non-issue. Yeah. By being more, I guess, just owning it. But on the other hand of that, there was another point that I was going to make, but I don't know. I guess.
Well, yeah. Like talking about the things you still need to incorporate in your life. Yeah. Do you think it's like, we're working on it, so we're obsessed with it and we're learning it, so then we get I mean, maybe it's not so maniacal as I'm making it out, like, fuck these people talking, like, how dare they, but maybe it's just, like, honest. Like, when you get really excited and you're learning things, that's where true passion comes, because it's still exciting to you. Yeah. Like we were talking about before with, like, the creative burnout. Once you do it so long, you're, like, kind of burnt out and, like, oh, this again. When you're fresh and you're doing it, you have all this passion for it. You're like, let's go. Yeah. And so it's natural that person would give the advice and want to share it. Yeah. So I think that's the positive side of it, but just I guess I don't know, man. I just see it a ton lately in the business space, and it kind of makes me cringe, and I can't. I'm sick of it, and that's why I distance myself from like pretty much every entrepreneur now, like who flexes on Instagram and is still into cars and Lambos and like G-Wagon. Like I want to vomit. Yeah, like I get physically sick.
I think this kind of relates to what we were talking about before, kind of like the shit that was in style back then and it's not in style now.
Yeah, you think this is going to be the tall tees and the lost 48, 15, 23 of 10 years from now?
I truly think Instagrammers who are flexing in front of like stacks of cash, Lamborghinis, hot girls, it's out of style.
G-Wagons. And
I have this own theory, and again, this is like a weed thing because you become more introspective. I like to think in terms of like energy and law of attraction a little bit more than I was before. When I was not, before I ever smoked, anything that had to do with energy, I tuned it out because it's not logical. It's not scientific.
Open to it. Yeah.
So for me, smoking weed, being more introspective, reflecting on a lot of things, and even just thinking about how things connected in my own life,
and I'm like, bigger than you.
It is bigger than me.
What it is.
Exactly. And so I have on the same lines of that, I believe that kind of as a marketplace, what I'm feeling, a lot of people must be feeling too. And so I've just kind of been paying attention to this in the background for the last 4 years. And I'm noticing like
that's your truth.
A lot of people are probably tired of seeing 60-minute long video sales letters that look like a PowerPoint presentation where you think it's only going to last 2 minutes, but it lasts 60 fucking minutes, right? People are tired of that shit. They want the free book and they want it sent to them, not the fucking ebook for $80.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I think the same thing on social media. People, there's a phase where ranting about your political opinions was cool. Now it's fucking annoying. Yeah. There's a phase where it was cool to flex on Instagram. Now it's fucking annoying. Yes. There was a phase where every fucking ad I saw on Instagram was, I just made $50,000 yesterday on Shopify doing drop shipping. Swipe up if you want to learn my strategy. Yeah. And there's a new teenager every fucking day saying the same shit. And I think now, as a marketplace, if we're feeling it, I feel like the marketplace is feeling the same way. And so I think it's just the next level. Because I was thinking about the movies, bro. Like, back in the day, talking about cancel culture, I watched a movie called School for Scoundrels. It had Billy Bob Thornton and the guy from Napoleon Dynamite, John Hader, whatever
his name is. Yeah.
And so it's like, I watched it because I realized now that I'm a dating coach, this is actually a movie about this dating coach trying to get these guys to take his event or his little thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like $5,000 cash. You got to show up. And he was calling these people fags and stuff in the video. And it was comedy in 2008. But today you drop that word on a tweet, you get canceled instantly.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the times just
Or you
change.
talk about 5G.
Or you talk about 5G. Bro, we just got this video removed. This is the first one. Let's not go there.
I know what you mean though, like the cancel culture and stuff. Yeah, I think you hit it, man. With you become allergic to the stuff you see over and over again until it becomes repulsive. Like, man, I don't know why. Like, I feel like the e-commerce ads, the e-commerce industry, I feel like are the frat boys of marketing. It's just like, God, these guys, they're everywhere. They all look the same. They all have the same, like everything is the same. It's just like, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm bitter because e-commerce sounds a lot hell of a easier ride than what we're doing. But you know,
it's the quick cash grab.
It's just like, are you really passionate about selling drop shipped plates of cats from China? Like who? Like fuck yeah! You know, all the e-commerce guys I've met are full of shit. Like maybe an exception of two, especially drop shipping. That's the thing. I feel like drop shipping. Like I don't know how we got on this rant, but I'll finish it. I met these guys and they're like flexing, same thing, like Instagram, G-Wagons that weren't theirs, like piles of cash that were fake, you know, freaking like Gucci that was also fake. And they're flexing like in their screenshot, like, oh yeah, this store, 40 grand. Oh, here's another store, 40 grand this month. Oh shit, ka-ching, was that a sale? You know, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, that's cool, bro. How much were ads last month?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know, we don't really talk about ads because it's like, you know, money in, money out. We just look at the bigger picture. We're above it. Like, you know, you focus on gains, not on losses, Clark. That's like, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But like a business standpoint, you look at net, not gross. Everyone knows that. You pay taxes on it, right? Like,
not everyone, just the people who have a business and have dealt with this stuff.
Right. That's why you see people, I made $5 million last year, but I paid out 4.9. You know, it's like sick. You made 100 grand. I would rather have 100 grand and not the overhead of 4.9. So anyway. And punchline, their ad spend is always like 40K. And it's like, great, you made $2 grand last month. You're going to look like a baller, but you're really a baller on caviar taste on a hot dog budget. You know what I mean? It's like, how cool is that? Like,
I think anybody who has real business experience will know that shit. And that's the stuff that the fucking armchair business experts who their first business is being a business expert.
Dude, I can't even
they'll never even know that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to talk about that. It's like any, you know, any chick. All right, I see this a lot more with women than I do men.
Yeah.
Just calling it how it is on Instagram. I see these girls.
At me, bro. Adam.
I want to dox. No. Yeah, I know. But like I see it like 5 times a day. I'm not even kidding. It's like a woman with an overexposed and her laptop's out and she's laughing really expressively.
Yeah.
And she has a cup of coffee and the copy's hella girly with like, you got this, you know, like fuck that. And it's kind of like edgy and whoa, and stuff. And she's a business coach. And then when I do a little digging, I go to the YouTube channel and her first video is business. And it's like, okay, you're a business coach starting successful businesses. And then, okay, let's tie this all back in because I've thought about this a lot. It's like, she loves talking about business because it's not that she doesn't know business or internet marketing. She knows it because she's tried it and failed a lot, right? So what you're left with at the end of trying and failing is not experience of how to do it right, but experience of how to do it wrong. And so you're always teaching people from the experience of doing it wrong because your only success is teaching people how to be successful, but you've never had it, right? Does that make sense? So like I've tried my best. in my career, because I know people are going to be like, well, what about you, Clark? You talk about how to do a YouTube channel and you have a YouTube, like, isn't that the same thing? It's like, no, I always try my best to.
He also has a plaque on his wall.
I got 2. No.
Yeah.
Flex.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean though? Like, I always try to like do it. Same thing with what you said. Incorporate it, live it to the best I can before I teach it. And like, unless it's something like losing weight or whatever, like who really cares if you're doing a fitness challenge and you're open, like, hey, I'm still doing this. Like no one really cares. But like, you know, if you're teaching people fundamental stuff that's life-changing, like making money, you better make sure you're getting advice from like good people who are doing it in an authentic way too, which is a whole other rant we could go on, how scummy the industry is of like dirty, you know, unethical marketers and stuff. And like, you know, people say like flexing stupid stores with 2K profit, but like there's people who like fake screenshots. That's a whole other thing, right?
Oh, shoot,
fake testimonials.
I've had people fake receipts and ask for a refund.
Oh my. It's just you become numb to it and you realize like you can't fight it. You just have to accept it and not hold on to it and move on, because you know that there's 99% of people who are great, who are awesome, who are living life, who are super cool, but there's that 1% that fucks the whole batch, right?
Yeah.
It's like that one customer out of 100 that's an asshole, or that one customer who goes above and beyond to like get a refund. And like I had a guy like threatened to like track me down and come beat me up if I didn't refund. It was just like, it's just, I don't even like to hold on to that stuff anymore. It's like a bad energy, you know? So I just like,
na 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 na